Welcome to Topper Talk, your number one Western Kentucky athletics podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Moffitt, and I'm joined by co-host Tyler Bailey. Hilltopper Nation, whether it's happening on the hill or on the road, grab those red towels, stand up and cheer, because it's up next on Topper Talk. Welcome back, and thank you for downloading and listening to another episode. As always, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Topper_Talk, and head over to our YouTube channel at Topper Talk Podcast. Subscribe over there, get an update anytime we drop a new episode. This podcast is sponsored by the Fireman Moving Company. They are the official moving company of WKU Athletics. Not only can they be trusted to move all the coaches in and out of Western, but they can move you anywhere nationwide. The Fireman Moving Company is owned and operated by firemen and is founded by WKU alumni. If you are looking to move anytime soon, give them a call at 270-791-1755 and get yourself a free quote. Now, before we jump in, this episode, we're kind of switching over to some basketball content. And we had a chance, a few weeks ago to sit down with Coach Steve Lutz. After the schedule was released, we want to talk to him about his team, his staff, and just how that schedule came together. And now we get a chance to sit and talk with one of his players. We've got senior guard Khristian that joined us to talk about this year, a little bit about last year and his recruitment and just how the season went. And then the expectations for this new season as we move forward. We're now less than a week from the season tipping off. So let's jump into that interview right now. All right, and I'm joined by Khristian Lander. He is a senior guard on the men's basketball team from Evansville, Indiana. He transferred by way of Indiana University to us last year. Khristian, welcome to the show. I appreciate you being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Now, last year, you appeared in 33 games for the Toppers. That's every game that we played. You started 2 of those. You averaged 3.2 points per game and 1.2 rebounds per game, and you shot 38.5% from 3. I know as a fan of the team and just getting to watch you, you really struck me as a high-intensity defensive guy. I really appreciated your on-ball defense. And then, obviously, your three-point shot, man. If they left you open, you were knocking it down. Mm-hmm. Now, you are from Evansville, Indiana, which for me is familiar territory. I'm from right across the river at Owensboro. I guess talk to us a little bit, how was your high school recruitment, as you were, a 4-star coming out of high school, I believe, and then you reclassified. So what did your recruitment look like coming out of high school? What other schools were high on your list, and what sold you on going to Indiana University?
I just want to make a small correction. I was not to be cocky or anything. I was a 5-star.
5-star, yeah. You were the number. You were the number 11 recruit, and then you reclassified. You were number 26, maybe, and 20. Mm-hmm. My fault. You were a 5-star. You earned those stars. You were a 5-star. My fault.
But no, my recruitment was pretty wild. I mean, it kind of went from nothing at all to a whole lot. It started like when I hit a buzzer beater on like the number. At the time, 3 kid, I think he was 3rd in the country at that time, and I hit a buzzer beater on him, and it like brought like a good amount of attention to like my team that I was playing on, and then from there, I think that was like my breaking point because I had like a good tournament that whole tournament, and then after that, I got my first offer like probably like a week and a half after that tournament. I got my first offer to IUPUI, and that was going in the summer before my freshman year. So me getting that offer, I was like, wow, like I didn't think I was going to get an offer that early. So when I seen it was possible that early, it just took me to a whole nother level as far as motivation. And my second offer was Illinois. So it went from IUPUI to a Big Ten school. So from there, it was just, pretty much the rest of the Big Ten offered me after that. And then just more and more offers came through. But my top 4 schools end up being Michigan, Louisville, IU, and Memphis. I chose IU because I just feel like they would just stay the most consistent as far as my recruitment. They offered me the beginning of my freshman year, and stayed on the gas as far as my recruiting. They came to a lot of my practices throughout my high school years. I went up there for a whole lot of unofficial visits, watched games, just went up there just to go up there and see the campus more. I just feel like I just got more and more familiar with it as my high school years went on.
Yeah, I mean the big in-state school. I mean Indiana University is pretty well-known blue blood in the college basketball world. So it's hard to turn them down. And I've been to their campus a couple times when we played them in football. Really, really nice campus, beautiful facilities. Now I've never been in their basketball arena, but obviously I've seen a lot of it on TV. So looks like a really great place to play. Now, in your 2 years there, you appeared in 39 games. And ultimately, after your second year there, you decided to enter the transfer portal. Um, what were the factors, I guess, that led to you deciding, to test that water and maybe see what else was out there?
Um, I just felt like I use a great school. I just felt like Coach Woodson coming in my second year, I just felt like me not being his recruit um, played in a factor of my minutes and etc. So I just felt like I wasn't. How could I say this? Just felt like I wasn't like in the mix as much as I wanted to be. So I felt like I could be needed somewhere else.
Yeah, no, and obviously, you entered the portal. You end up at Western Kentucky University. Now, I remember, I think it was the same day you committed. I remember hearing, "Oh, his dad played football here
Mm-hmm.
in the late '90s." So I just wonder, I think your dad played in the secondary, was a DB safety.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any familiarity with Western Kentucky or the campus or Bowling Green? Um, and did maybe your dad influence that decision a little bit for you to maybe take a harder look at Western Kentucky before you committed?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say he influenced it much because when I hit the portal, he already told me from the jump. He was like, I'm not gonna jump in because I'm gonna be biased because I'm an alumni, etc. So I feel like he did a good job of like just letting me make my decision by myself. But yeah, I think he just let me make my decision and just he definitely obviously like wanted me to go to WKU, but he wasn't really like in the way like pressuring me to come here.
Had you been on campus any, maybe come to any football games or anything, during your time growing up? Had y'all been in Bowling Green any?
Yeah, I think it was when I was like 13 or 14. I came to homecoming, and they played Troy, I think. So yeah, I think that was the only time I went up here. It was a fun time for sure.
Yeah, no, looking back at last season, I know, for a lot of people, and I know for the players, for the fans as well, last year was quite a bit of a roller coaster. It just was an up and down season, very high expectations coming in. And then there was just a lot of adversity through the year. Obviously, Coach Stansbury missed extended time with an illness. Frampton went down with that season-ending injury. And a lot of times, that kind of adversity will draw a team closer. I guess, how would you kind of look back and think about last year's team and just how the season unfolded for you?
Um, I think it was just like you said, a lot of adversity. I feel like off the court, I feel like it definitely brought us together. I think on the court it brought us together more as well, but I just feel like we just couldn't get it to click how we wanted to at the times we needed to. I feel like we would do some good things, but we just couldn't finish certain stuff out. Or it's like it was really like the small things with our team. I feel like, um, but no, it definitely brought us together more. I just feel like it was just a lot of adversity as far as like coach and then Luke going out with the injury. It was just a whole lot for the team.
Yeah, and I think, at the end of the year, it kind of became pretty clear that Conference USA was a lot stronger than people wanted to give it credit for, with
Hmm.
FAU making that run into the Final Four, UAB and Charlotte, North Texas all having good success in those postseason tournaments. So really strong showing last year. Obviously, we didn't shine quite like we were used to, but that's okay. Everybody's allowed to have a down year. We'll regroup and come back. Now, were there any games or any moments last year that stand out to you as like, wow, this is fun, or this is a good environment? And I know you had played in other environments at Indiana, but just did anything stand out to you last year in that first season at Western?
I'd say probably the game against La Tech at home. I feel like I was kept in the game long enough to where I could show what I could do, and I hit a couple shots early, and then I just kept hitting them. So I feel like that was when that happened, it was just, and I was making plays on the defensive end and stuff like that. So I just feel like that was probably the best environment / moment for me last year.
Yeah, and then obviously as the season concluded, Coach Stansberry decided to step down as head coach. Several of your former teammates now decide to hit the portal. I guess what was your thoughts and where was your head at as far as there's a coaching change. It's your first year at this new school. A lot of your teammates that you had bonded with were hitting the portal and testing those other options. Where was your head at? What made you decide to stay, to ride it out and kind of see where this thing settled?
I'll just say it didn't. I was kind of down about my teammates leaving or whatever, but I understood why. It was just a whole lot going on, and other schools was ready to give them opportunities that they've been asking for that they probably didn't get here with the coach that we had last year or whatever. So I really wasn't upset to that extent, but I was like, dang, I built a relationship with you guys and you guys are gone. But I feel like at the end of the day, that's just how it goes for real in college sports. It can happen at any time. Changes can happen at any time. So I feel like I just had to push through. It was a small dose of adversity. I feel like since I'm having to like basically start over again, this being my fourth coach in 4 years. So I just feel like I was kind of used to it, I guess you could say. But no, I think it would be all right still.
Yeah, now Coach Lutz has obviously been hired and named head coach, and he's been around for a while now. And I'm sure you've gotten to practice plenty with him. I guess what were your first impressions of Coach Lutz, and how would you describe those practices now compared to what you were used to last year? As we're now less than a week from the season kicking off.
My first impression of him, I'd say it was just real straight to the point guy. It's either this or that. Like you gotta, I don't know how to explain it. He's just a real straightforward guy. He doesn't really sugarcoat anything. He's gonna tell you what it is, and that's what it is, basically. And I like that because a lot of coaches tell you what you want to hear and stuff like that, and he's not that way. So I like that about him a lot. And as far as practices go, compared to last year, I just feel like we play against each other a whole lot more. So I feel like it's just gonna help our chemistry with each other. So we play a whole lot in practice. We do like our regular warm up drills and defensive drills at the beginning, but the rest of practice is usually us going against each other the rest of practice. So I think that's the big difference.
Yeah. Now we did get to interview Coach Lutz, and we've also seen him, on campus. We've got to talk to him and his assistant coaches just about his process for building his staff, building the schedule, and obviously building the roster. There's a lot of new faces on this team now. I think there's 9 new guys that are signed to this roster from that weren't here last year. How do you feel all those new pieces now are fitting together? And is anybody or anything standing out to you about this new team compared to last year?
I think if we get it together, like I think we're about to, I think that we can. Well, I think we have a pretty deep roster. I think we could potentially play 10, 12 guys, if not everybody. But I mean, that's not how necessarily college works. Everybody doesn't get to play, but I feel like we're definitely capable of that. So,
Yeah. What would you say are? I guess it's a 2-part question. What are your goals for this season coming in, and what would you think the team expectations are in the locker room in year 1 under Coach Lutz? We know his last 2 years he's gone and played in March, and that's something that WKU hasn't got to experience in a while. So what would you say the expectations are year 1 with Coach Lutz?
I think as far as a team, um, we've been talking about since Let's got here and we started practicing together and stuff. As far as like when we get comfortable enough with each other to like talk about our goals and stuff. The stuff that we talk about in the locker room is just obviously winning the conference. That's our main goal. And then with winning the conference, that comes with going to punching our ticket to the NCAA tournament. So that's all we're really set on for real. But personally, I really just want to showcase what I haven't been able to show my last couple of years in college. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a tremendous switch in on how they see me play. I feel like they've only got a little glimpse of what I'm capable of doing. So I feel like it's gonna be a big year for me.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. Now, I can't let you get out of here without this next question because as I've shared it with my closest friends that I was going to be talking to you, they're like, man, you have to ask Khristian about his shoe collection. Yeah, I've got quite a few friends that are pretty big sneakerheads, and I am a little bit myself, more of a Jordan guy myself. But just the shoes that you bring out for game days, some Kobe's out there, like it's definitely noticed. I guess what turned you on to being a sneakerhead, and what is your favorite pair of game day shoes that you got to play in?
I'd say what turned me into a sneakerhead, it was just my family's always like been into like fashion and stuff like that, clothing and shoes and stuff. My dad always had a whole lot of shoes when I was younger. Ended up getting rid of them a little when I got a little older, but I just got into them because of him initially, and then my mom was into shoes a whole lot as well, so it just rubbed off on me, and then I just have always watched the releases when stuff was releasing, research on shoes since I was in elementary school. So I just feel like I've been doing it for a long time. Uh, my favorite game day shoes though, I'd probably have to say the Grinch Kobe's, the green ones with the red laces. Yeah, that's probably the best ones for sure.
Yeah, those definitely stood out, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing you and the whole team this year in Diddle. You know, the season, like we said, kicks off in less than a week now. Really excited to be back in there supporting you guys. Really excited to see you on the court specifically. You know, I know you've got a lot to show. Like you said, you want to show um, more of what you bring to the table than you've had the opportunity to the last couple years in college. So again, I really appreciate you joining us. We look forward to supporting you and the Hilltoppers this season. And we wish you all the best in Ditto Arena. We appreciate you coming on, Khristian. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Go Tops.